Fitin10 Nation, welcome to day 50, Martina. Day 50, 20 days left. Crazy. Just under 3 weeks here, or about 3 weeks left. Check-ins are going to happen again 7 days from now. For those of you who are not familiar with our challenge, we run a 70-day challenge. We do check-ins every 2 weeks. We give you an exercise regime, which is online with Coach Martina, or we do have one that's offline as well. We have a cardio program for you, and on top of that, we design you a diet that is based on a number of metrics unique to you, such as your age, your sex, your lean body mass, your menopausal status, etc. There's a bunch of other metrics. And all of this goes towards a goal of losing 30% of your fat mass. Anyways, that's a little sales pitch for Fitin10. All right, let's get into this, Martina.
Yes.
Foods. Let's talk more on foods here. So what we do here is we're just taking some foods that are in people's food journals, because that's another thing that we do. We look at your food journals.
Daily.
Martina, what about sausages? Now, this is a big category.
I love sausages.
Yeah, sausages are actually really good. But are they acceptable?
It's not, you know what? We need you to bring back that shirt that says it depends.
It really does. Inevitably, the answer is always, it depends. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what's in the sausage.
Yeah.
I will say this, generally speaking, sausages are a no-no.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, there's just, when it comes to either the preservatives
saturated fat,
or, well, I mean, I don't really have an issue with saturated fat,
I think that when there's more saturated fat than protein, definitely.
Well, let's just be more clear on this. When there is more fat in general.
In general, yeah.
Yeah, there's not anything in particular that's bad about saturated fat. Which
I agree.
I realize this is a controversial topic. Show me the evidence. That's all I'm going to say. Show me the evidence.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but for example, where I come from,
yeah,
in Africa, we make our sausages usually with actually very lean beef, but then we add either duck or pork fat to it, right, to make them. And so in the end, I'm pretty sure that when you look at your macros, that the macro is 50% fat, 50% protein.
Yeah, and this is the problem, right? It's a high-fat food.
Yeah.
And can you have some fat in your diet? Of course you can.
Yeah, I like to have a sausage, for example, as kind of I call it almost a condiment to my egg whites, right? I really enjoy that. So I like to mix and match my protein. I've said this here multiple times. So if I don't put, let's say, smoked salmon on my omelet, I'll put a piece of sausage.
Yeah, but again, it just really depends on
who made it,
what goes into the sausage, including other additives like preservatives, etc. Want to be very, very careful with these things. So, in general, I'm going to say sausages are a no-no. There are some exceptions.
I agree. Turkeys are great. You know, the lean ones are great. The homemade ones are great. I know my butcher made it are great. You know, so yeah, we can go with that.
How about, Martina, a banana?
I'm not a fan of bananas, you know that.
Okay, but let's. I don't care about your taste. Okay.
Well, that's what you said.
For this video, I don't really care.
Bananas. I'm like, I don't care. I don't like bananas.
When it comes to, trying to improve your body composition. Okay, in this case, let's be more specific here. Weight loss, fat loss. Are bananas okay or not?
100%.
Yeah, bananas are totally fine. At the end of the day, it's not a super calorie dense fruit. Now, bananas are a little more
calorie dense than a lot of
other fruits. There's less water in them.
Yeah.
So they're going to be a little more calorie dense in that regard.
Yeah, but fruit belongs to the diet. As a matter of fact,
100%.
It's a great way to also keep away the cravings for dirty foods, right? So
yeah, and it's a great way to get in some simple sugars, because along with the fruit, generally speaking, you're going to get a lot of vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, fibers, etc. So there's
water.
There's a lot of nutrition that comes along with it. So there's a lot of bang for your buck. A lot of people don't have fruit, or they stay away from fruit when they're trying to lose weight or body fat, because they're afraid of carbs, especially simple sugars. But I should remind you that there's nothing wrong with having some carbohydrates in your diet. Whether it's simple sugar or it's starch, it's all being broken down into simple sugar regardless. So bananas, totally a-okay.
Not for me.
Not for you. Okay. Great source of potassium, magnesium. What else can we think of in there? Those are the two that I know. There's probably some other good things in there, but I'm sure some phytonutrients. And depending on whether they're green or not, I like my bananas a little bit green. We're going to get some resistant starch in there. That's going to be some good. It's going to be some good resistant starch for your gut bacteria. All right.
I don't want to talk about bananas anymore.
All right. Okay. Let's talk about food as a crutch.
Yeah.
Food as a crutch.
I have that problem.
Yeah. Listen, I think most people do. Believe it or not, you would probably say I don't. I think I do. But I just know how to control it. I just know how to control it. So I will say the two things that stick in my mind in terms of crutches for people: alcohol and food.
And sugar, yeah.
And food is usually an acceptable one because you go, well, it's
food.
There's nothing legal. It's food. I got to eat. But, a lot of people will use this as a crutch. And I want to remind you that food should not be, unless you just really don't care, which I'm sure you obviously care because you're watching this video, or you're in our challenge, or both. In the moment that you are looking for that food, you have to ask yourself, are you actually hungry, for one? Like, are you actually hungry?
Yeah.
Because there's levels to hunger. We both know this just from competing.
Yeah.
There's levels to hunger. There is obviously, can I eat or not? Can I fit something in my mouth and in my stomach and I'm not going to feel like I'm full? That doesn't mean you're hungry, right? But quite often we're just looking for the pleasure from food more often than anything. So we want to think, especially when we're trying to lose weight, lose body fat, we're trying to think about eating for purpose. That doesn't mean you can't eat food that you enjoy. I'm not saying that. But it shouldn't be food. You shouldn't be eating for the sake of eating. You shouldn't be eating for the sake of, you're stressed out about something, or
to make you feel better,
yes,
for some other reason. Yeah,
you
have to find for other ways, for sure.
If you are struggling with this, or you're not even sure if you are, okay, because maybe some people don't even realize it, you just have to ask yourself why. If you're eating for the sake of eating, okay, we're not talking about sleeping all night, waking up in the morning and eating breakfast. We're talking about the middle of the day and
you've already eaten.
You've
already had a meal.
Sure. You've already had a meal or two or whatever, but you're looking for especially some of those snack foods. What is the purpose behind this? Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And you may say, well, I don't care. I just feel like I want to have it. Always know there's going to be repercussion with that, right? So
yeah, but I told you this before, that when I'm tired, I always crave sugar. So one of the things that I've noticed is I have a bit of a dip like a few hours after my lunch or my second meal of the day.
Yep.
And then one of the ways that I have is actually to go to bed. I have the luxury of being able to do that. So I love my naps.
Yep.
But wanting to nap is usually if I can't nap, then I'm gonna be looking for sugar. So one of the ways that I go about it is I go to sleep for a minimum of 20 minutes.
Yeah, nap can be good if you are legitimately tired.
Well, that's what makes me feel like, I need to perk up myself with, a cookie.
Sometimes when I'm working and I'm just not getting anywhere, I will be like, what's going on? Why am I not getting? And it's like, okay, you know what it is? I actually need to lie down for a little bit. And I'll take a quick nap. So there's nothing wrong with that per se if you are indeed actually tired. You want to set up some boundaries with your diet. So this is where, obviously I'm a huge fan of macronutrient counting and basing your macronutrients off of a reasonable amount of calories, depending on the size of person you are and other factors. And then staying within those boundaries. You need boundaries in your life. If you don't have boundaries, then you're just going to veer off.
Yeah.
There's where do you draw the line, right?
Becoming obese.
Well, unfortunately, that is the case with a lot of people. But we need to practice self-control as well. You have to practice self-control. People don't realize that maybe they give themselves the out with food, and they institute, control with all other things in their life. But really, you've got to look at being able to control even some of these things that are really, really hard, like food, saying no to certain things. Having control has a huge bearing on other aspects of your life.
Indeed.
Having that control, right? So there's a lot more I want to say on this, and so we're gonna bring it up actually next video, and I want to talk about some things to do that around those times where you are perhaps needing something to give you that dopamine hit or whatever, however you want to term it, that outlet, we'll call it that. Okay, so we'll talk about that a little bit in the next video. But let's get the message of the day, Martina. And this is one of my favorites. It's an old one. It's probably one that most people have heard. It goes like this. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal, but it is the courage to continue that counts, right? Success is not final. Failure is not fatal, of course, right? It's the courage to continue. You're going to ebb and flow as you go through life. You're going to have times where things are going great, and times when they're not. The key is that you got to keep going. You got to keep working and striving towards your goal. And if you are in our Fitin10 right now and you are hiding from us, okay, and if they're hiding from us, they're probably not watching this video because, you know, it's going to make it harder. But if you are, we are still coming after you, okay? We are, and you know, because we text you and we Slack you and we email you and yes, we even do phone call. So don't hide from us, okay? You've got to want to help yourself. Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude. We'll talk to you all very soon.